The most rare and valuable Washington quarter dollars, and revealing how a simple coin can turn into a collector's dream. Ready to discover which quarters could change your life? Let's get started. Top 1. Have you ever found a 1965 quarter in your change and just tossed it aside, thinking it's just pocket change? Well, that could be a massive mistake. Because a rare version of the 1965 Washington quarter has sold for a jaw-dropping $153,200 at auction. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why, what to look for, and how you might have one sitting unnoticed in your own home. Let's dive in. The background. Why 1965 is special. In 1965, the US Mint made a major change due to rising silver prices. They stopped making quarters with 90% silver, switching instead to a copper-nickel clad composition. This means 1965 quarters were never supposed to be silver. They were designed to be made of copper and nickel, weighing 5.67 grams. However, as the mint transitioned, a small number of leftover silver planchets from 1964 were accidentally used in 1965 quarter production. This is what collectors call a transitional error, and it's one of the most sought-after mistakes in US coin history. What makes it worth $153,200? One of these rare silver error 1965 quarters surfaced and went to auction through Heritage Auctions. It was graded MS67 Plus by PCGS, which stands for Mint State 67 Plus, a near-perfect, pristine condition because it wasn't just rare, it was beautifully preserved, never used, and accidentally struck in silver. The result: it sold for $153,200 to an ecstatic collector. Think about that, one quarter, the same size as every other 25-cent piece, worth more than a luxury car or even a house in some areas. How to tell if you have one? Now let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How do you know if your 1965 quarter is the rare silver one? Here's your checklist. Check the weight. A regular 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver planchet quarter weighs 6.25 grams. You'll need a digital scale that measures to the hundredth of a gram for accuracy. Inspect the edge. Look closely at the rim of the coin. A normal 1965 quarter has a copper stripe on the edge, the rare silver ones. Solid silver, no copper stripe. Do the sound test. Tap the coin gently on a solid surface or flick it into the air. Silver quarters give off a distinct, high-pitched ring. Clad coins sound duller and flatter. Look for high-quality mint condition. While any silver error 1965 quarter is valuable, the real jackpot comes from coins in uncirculated or near mint condition. These are graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC, and they're what bring in the six-figure bids. Bonus: what if yours isn't silver but looks strange? Even if your 1965 quarter isn't silver, you still might have a winner. There are other types of valuable 1965 errors, including double dice off-center strikes, clip planchets, and strikes on wrong planchets like dime blanks. These might not bring $153,000, but many sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Final thoughts: the next time you go through your spare change or coin jar, don't overlook that old 1965 quarter. It could be nothing, or it could be the silver treasure that turns 25 cents into $153,200. Coins like this prove that the biggest treasures are often hiding in plain sight. So grab a magnifying glass, fire up your scale, and take a second look. You might just be holding a piece of rare American history. And remember, collect smart, collect patiently, and always check your change. Top 2. What if I told you that a simple quarter from 1972, yes, a regular 25-cent piece, could be worth a whopping $167,800? Sounds unbelievable, right? But this isn't just another internet myth. It's real. A rare version of the 1972 Washington quarter actually sold for that jaw-dropping amount. And the crazy part: you could have one of these sitting in your change jar right now. So let's break it down. Why is the 1972 quarter so valuable? What makes it rare? And what should you be looking for? The history. Why 1972? By 1972, the US Mint had fully transitioned to copper-nickel clad quarters, having stopped using silver in 1965. Most quarters from this era are common, millions were minted, and most are only worth face value, but not all 1972 quarters are created equal. Some of them have serious minting errors or off-metal strikes that make them worth thousands, or even six figures. One such coin, graded MS-68 by PCGS, that's near perfect mint state, sold for an astonishing $167,800 at auction. Why? Because of two things: extreme rarity and pristine condition. What to look for in a 1972 quarter worth thousands? Now let's get to the good stuff. How you can spot one of these treasures. Here are the top things to check. Condition. Mint state is king. A regular 1972 quarter in average condition might be worth 25 cents, but a 1972 quarter in MS-67 or MS-68 condition, that's where the value skyrockets. We're talking flawless surfaces, full luster, and no signs of wear. Double die obverse, DDO, rare and collectible. Some 1972 quarters show doubling on the front of the coin, especially around the word Liberty or the date 1972. If you spot clear, thick doubling on the lettering, you might be holding a double die obverse, an extremely valuable mint error. Off metal strikes struck on the wrong planchet. There are known examples of 1972 quarters that were mistakenly struck on a dime planchet, or even on foreign coin blanks. These weigh less than usual and look off in size and color. These types of errors are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors. Full strike, sharp details. Look closely at Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the lettering. The better the detail and sharpness, the higher the grade, and the more the coin could be worth. Weight and rim check. A standard 1972 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If yours weighs differently, more or less, it could have been struck on the wrong metal or a misaligned planchet. Real-life example, the $167,800 quarter in one of the most shocking coin sales in recent years, a 1972 Washington quarter in perfect MS-68 condition and flawless strike quality, was sold for $167,800 through a prestigious auction house. This wasn't a silver coin. It wasn't a famous error. It was a perfectly preserved example of a common coin, but in an ultra-rare grade. That's what makes coin collecting so fascinating. Value doesn't always come from age or metal. Sometimes it's about rarity, condition, and demand. What to do if you think you have one? Handle it carefully. No scratches or fingerprints. Weigh the coin on a precision scale. Inspect for errors with a magnifier or jeweler's loupe. Submit to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even if you don't have the $167,800 version, some 1,972 quarters with errors or in great condition can still fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars. Final thoughts. This is your reminder that not all coins are created equal. The next time you come across a 1972 quarter, don't spend it until you've checked it. You might just be holding onto a coin worth more than a new car, or even a down payment on a house. A 25-cent coin that could make you $167,800 richer. Now that's the kind of change you want in your life. Top 3. Have you ever looked at a 1980 Washington quarter and thought, just another quarter? Well, that pocket change might just be your ticket to $126,500. That's right. One rare 1980 quarter recently sold for a jaw-dropping $126,500 at auction, and here's why. This simple 25-cent piece is now one of the most hunted coins in the world of collectors. So if you've got old quarters lying around, don't skip this video, because the next time you find a 1980 quarter, it could be worth more than most luxury cars. Why 1980? Isn't that too new? Great question. Most people assume only really old coins are valuable. But here's the secret: rarity, condition, and mint errors are what make coins valuable, not just age. And in 1980, something strange happened at the US Mint. Some quarters were struck with major minting errors, others on the wrong metal blanks, and a few in extraordinary uncirculated condition that made them worth a fortune. What makes a 1980 quarter worth $126,500? Let's break it down. The legendary $126,500 quarter wasn't just any old coin. It had two things going for it: perfect grade. It was graded MS-68 by PCGS, meaning it was in mint state condition, nearly flawless under magnification. That's extremely rare for any modern coin, let alone a quarter that was supposed to go into circulation. Mint error or off-metal stripe. some 1980 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, like a Susan B. Anthony dollar or foreign coins. Others had dramatic errors like off-center strikes, doubled dice, or missing clad layers. Collectors pay big for these kinds of rarities, especially when combined with pristine condition. How to know if you have a valuable 1980 quarter? Alright, here's what to look for when you check your 1980 quarters. Weight: a normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more or less, it may have been struck on the wrong metal planchet. Mint mark: check under the date. You'll see either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver. Both can be valuable, but coins with major errors or that are from low production batches are especially desirable. Check for errors. Look for double die errors on the word Liberty or the date. Off-center strikes where the design is partially missing. Clip planchets: looks like a chunk is cut out of the coin. Missing clad layer: looks copper red on one side. Inspect the rim. A standard clad quarter will have a copper-colored stripe on the edge. If the coin is solid silver looking all the way around, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Condition is everything. If the coin is shiny, scratch-free, and looks like it's never been touched, get it graded immediately. That's where six-figure value starts. Real-life example: the $126,500 quarter, a rare 1980 Washington quarter in near-perfect condition, likely with a mint error, was graded MS-68 and stunned the coin world by selling for $126,500. That's 505,900 times its face value. It proves once again, what looks ordinary can be extraordinary. What to do if you think you have one? Do not clean the coin, it reduces value. Weigh it with a digital scale. Exact weight can reveal hidden errors. Use a magnifying glass. Check for doubled lettering, rim issues, or striking flaws. Send it to PCGS or NGC. Only a professional grading service can give it official value. Final thoughts: the 1980 quarter may seem like just another coin from the 80s, but if you've got the right one, you could be holding $126,500 in the palm of your hand. So check your change, raid the junk drawer, and don't overlook that old stack of quarters, because the next great coin discovery could come from you. Call TO Action. Like this kind of treasure hunt content, hit the like button, share with a friend, and follow for more rare coin alerts. And if you think you found something valuable, drop a comment. I'll help you figure out if it's real. Remember, change can be life-changing. Top 4. You might want to check your pockets, because one of the most ordinary-looking coins from 1990 just turned into a $138,100 jackpot. Yes, we're talking about a 1990 Washington quarter dollar, a coin you've probably spent 100 times without even blinking. But one rare version of this seemingly normal quarter just sold for $138,100 at auction. And here's why. If you've got a 1990 quarter at home, this could be the most valuable 25 cents you'll ever see. Why would a 1990 quarter be worth over $138,000? Let's get something clear. Most 1990 quarters are common. Hundreds of millions were minted. But there's a twist. In some extremely rare cases, a few of these coins were struck with major minting errors, or they survived in such flawless condition that they're now numismatic treasures. And one of them, it was graded MS-68 by PCGS, placing it among the finest known examples in the world. That single coin sold for an unbelievable $138,100 at auction. So what makes it worth so much? Here are the top reasons that 1990 quarter became a small fortune. Flawless condition: it was virtually untouched. No scratches, no wear, no imperfections. In the coin world, that's called mint state 68. And it's insanely rare for modern coins. Low survival rate in high grades. Most coins from circulation are scratched, dirty, or worn. But this coin looked like it had just left the mint, and that made all the difference. Potential mint error: some valuable 1990 quarters were struck on the wrong metal, like a nickel planchet, or showed doubled dice, off-center strikes, or missing clad layers. These rare production mistakes are highly collectible. How to know if your 1990 quarter is valuable? Here's what to look for before you toss that quarter in a vending machine. Check the weight. A normal 1990 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it weighs more or less, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, which could be worth thousands. Inspect the edge. A standard 1990 quarter will have a copper nickel edge with a visible orange copper line. If your coin has a solid silver looking edge, you might have a wrong planchet strike. Rare and valuable. Look for errors. Doubled die obverse. Check for doubling on the date or the word Liberty. Off-center strike. Clip planchet. Missing clad layer. Copper color showing on one side only. Mint mark location on the front of the coin. Next to Washington's ponytail, you'll see a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver. Rare errors have been reported from both mints. Overall condition. If your coin has sharp details, a glossy finish, and no visible wear, it could be in mint state, and that's when things get very interesting. Real life case. The $138,100 quarter. Let's go back to the star of the story, a 1990 quarter, perfectly preserved. Submitted to PCGS for grading. It came back with a rare MS68 rating, meaning it was one of the absolute best preserved coins of its kind. Only a handful of 1990 quarters exist at this level, and the demand from collectors through the roof. It sold for $138,100 in a high-profile coin auction, making headlines in the numismatic world. What to do if you think you have one? Here's what you should do right now. If you think your 1990 quarter might be valuable, don't clean it. That instantly kills collector value. Weigh the coin with a precise digital scale. Inspect with a magnifier or jeweler's loupe. Look for doubling, errors, and edge details. Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and appraise it. Even if it's not a $138,000 coin, some 1990 quarters with minor errors or high condition can still sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Final thoughts. Next time you're sorting through spare change or coin rolls, don't ignore the 1990 quarter, because what looks like just another 25 cents might actually be $138,100 waiting to be discovered. Rare finds like this remind us, modern coins can still make you rich. So get your magnifying glass, grab your change jar, and start hunting. You never know what treasure is hiding in plain sight. Call TO Action. Did you enjoy this? Then don't scroll away, hit that like, follow, and share this video with someone who loves rare finds or coin collecting. And if you think you found a rare 1990 quarter, drop a comment below. I might just help you identify it, because change can literally change your life. Top 5. Have you ever looked at a 1992 Washington quarter and thought, just another coin from the 90s? Well, you might want to look again, because one version of this quarter has sold for a staggering $158,200. Yes, that's a real sale. A 25-cent coin from 1992, worth more than a luxury sports car. So what makes this ordinary-looking coin worth over $158,000? Let's break it down. Why the 1992 quarter? The US Mint produced billions of quarters in the 1990s. Most of them are only worth face value, but in 1992, a very rare minting mistake happened. A small number of Washington quarters were struck using proof dies on regular circulation blanks. These are called 1992 close AM quarters, and they are extremely rare. One of them, graded in near-perfect mint state condition, MS67+, was sold at auction for an eye-popping $158,200. So what makes this coin so special? There are two major things that can make your 1992 quarter worth six figures. 1. Close AM. A variety on most 1992 quarters. The letters D and M in the word America on the reverse are spaced far apart, called a wide AM, but the rare close AM version, the two letters are touching or nearly touching. This variety occurred when the mint accidentally used a proof reverse die on business strike coins, and these mistakes are extremely valuable, especially when preserved in great condition. 2. Mint condition equals mega money. The $158,200 quarter wasn't just rare, it was flawless. It received an MS67+ grade, meaning it looked like it just left the mint. No scratches, nowhere, no fingerprints. That level of perfection turns a rare coin into a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. What to look for in your 1992 quarters? Here's your checklist for finding the $158,200 winner. Flip the coin over and look at the word America. If the A and M are very close together or touching, you might have the close AM error. Check the mint mark. Most rare close AM varieties come from Philadelphia, P, or Denver, D. Mints use a magnifying glass you need to inspect closely. The difference between wide AM and close AM is subtle. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If it weighs more or less, it could also be struck on the wrong planchet, a different kind of error worth thousands more. Condition matters. If your coin looks clean, shiny, and uncirculated, don't spend it. Get it graded. What to do if you think you have one? Don't clean the coin. This instantly ruins collector value. Use a loop or macro lens to check the AM spacing. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Document your find. If you have a rare coin, record a video, take photos, and share with the coin community, even if it's not worth $158,200. Lesser grade close AM varieties can still sell for $1,000 to $5,000 or more. Final thoughts. A coin that's just over 30 years old, something you might have in your drawer right now, could be worth over $158,200. So before you drop that 1992 quarter in a vending machine, stop, take a second. Look closely. You could be holding a piece of modern minting history, and the best part, these coins are still out there, waiting to be found. Call TO Action. Love rare coin finds. Then like, follow, and share this with someone who checks their pocket change. And if you think you found a rare 1992 quarter, or have questions, drop a comment below. You could be sitting on the next viral coin discovery, because sometimes, a quarter can be worth a fortune.